All right, today we're going to dig into something big, a really important report from the United Nations Development Program, and it's all about one massive question, a question that's probably going to define the next 100 years of human progress. So here's the core of it. The report is saying, look, AI isn't just another shiny new app on your phone. This is a fork in the road for humanity. Are we going to use it to build bridges and bring everyone closer? Or is it going to be this massive wedge that drives us all apart, creating what they're calling the next Great Divergence? Okay, so to really get what's on the line here, we've got to take a step back. Because, the history of global inequality, it's not some straight, predictable path. It's more like a seesaw, right? A story of these huge shifts pulling apart, and then sometimes coming back together. And that history really boils down to two epic movements. First up, you had the Industrial Revolution. This created a colossal gap, the Great Divergence, where the West just rocketed ahead. But then something pretty amazing started happening in the back half of the 20th century. We saw a great convergence. All of a sudden, new tech and global trade started giving developing nations a real chance to catch up, to close that gap. And this slide, wow, it just nails how huge that convergence was. Just think about this. In 1950, you've got Norway with a life expectancy of 72, and Afghanistan at just 28. I mean, that's a 44-year gap. But fast forward to today, and the average life expectancy for the entire planet is now over 72. That's better than what one of the richest countries had back then. That is incredible progress. And all of that's what's at risk right now. Which, of course, brings us right back to AI. The report makes it super clear this isn't just another software update. This is the next big turning point. We're talking about something with the power to completely reshape our world on the same level as, say, the steam engine or the internet. It's that big a deal. Yeah, they call it a general-purpose technology. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. Think about electricity. You don't ask, what is electricity for? It's for, well, everything. It's the foundation. AI is the same way. It's this new layer that's going to change how we do everything, from medicine and school all the way to how we run our countries. And this is maybe the most crucial takeaway. The report's chief economist puts it perfectly. The new fault line, the new thing that separates the haves from the have-nots, it's not going to be about oil or land. It's going to be about capability. Simple as that. Can you build, use, and manage AI? If you can, you're in the game. If you can't, you risk getting left in the dust. So this sets up the central conflict, right? The big tug-of-war of the AI age. We're looking at two totally different futures. On one side, you've got this incredible promise of progress we can barely imagine. And on the other, the peril of making the world more unequal than it's ever been. So let's talk about the promise first. Check this out. In Bangkok, they have this app called Trafi Fundu. Great name, by the way. It uses AI to sift through almost 600,000 reports from citizens about stuff like broken streetlights or potholes. The AI sorts it, and the city can fix things way faster. That's AI right there, just making everyday life work better for people. But then you flip the coin and you see the peril. AI runs on data. Simple rule. If you're not in the data, you don't exist to the AI. You're invisible. And that's a massive problem for rural and indigenous communities who are often just missing from these giant data sets. So the very systems that are meant to help everyone could end up systematically ignoring them. Okay, back to the promise side. And this one is huge. Healthcare. Imagine you're in a place with very few specialized doctors. AI can be a total game changer. It's already being used to read chest x-rays to spot tuberculosis, and it can do it faster and sometimes even more accurately than a human expert. We're talking about a technology that could literally save millions of lives. And again, here comes the peril. To get the benefits of that amazing AI, you need access. You need the tools. And right now, in South Asia, women are up to 40% less likely to even own a smartphone than men are. So that's not just a tech gap anymore, right? That's a huge barrier that could lock women out of all these new opportunities in health and work, making existing inequalities even worse. So you see the pattern here. If we just let this thing run wild, AI won't just maintain the status quo, it could actively blow the existing gaps wide open. We could end up with a world of digital haves and have-nots on a scale that makes today's problems look small. And this chart really lays it out in black and white. It's like a race has started, but everyone's at a different starting line. You've got countries like Singapore and South Korea that are already sprinting down the track. But then you've got others, the lower capacity countries, who, Well, they're still tying their shoes at the starting block. The race has already started, and they haven't even begun. And this disruption, it's not going to hit everyone the same. The report flags this absolutely staggering number. Jobs that are typically held by women, they're nearly twice as likely to be affected by AI automation as jobs held by men. Think about that for a second. If we don't do something, this could unwind decades of progress for gender equality in the workplace. Okay, so after all that doom and gloom, here's the most important thing to take away from all this. None of this is set in stone. This future isn't inevitable. It all comes down to the choices we make right now. We absolutely have the power to steer this ship and build a future where AI is more inclusive. And the report doesn't just point out the problem, it gives us a roadmap. It boils down to 3 big ideas. First, people first. Simple. The goal isn't just to make the economy bigger, it's to help people live better, freer, safer lives. Second, govern this stuff responsibly. We need some rules of the road that encourage all the cool innovation, but also protect us from the downsides. And third, build for the future. That means investing in local talent, in real infrastructure, so that every country can be a creator of AI, not just a consumer. So, when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Pretty much everyone agrees AI is going to make the whole economic pie for humanity much, much bigger. It's going to create staggering new wealth and opportunities. The real question, the defining question of our generation that this report puts right in front of us is, who gets a slice? And what are we going to do to make sure that pie gets shared?